Real quick.
I'd grab their seats, please.
I got it, so there you go.
I would call this August 2007 regular meeting to order at this time. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn, Bowman, Baker, Lynch, Escaday, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Epperson. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Mr. Thibodeau, will you say the invocation, and we'll let Commissioner Epperson say the pledge of allegiance, please.
Here.
Everybody rise.
Lord, we ask you to bless everybody that's here today. We ask you to help us make the right decisions for the citizens of Caddo Parish. We ask that you take care of those hearts that are hurting, and we ask all these things in your son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Let's all turn to face the flag. All military and veterans render the hand to brow salute. All others hand over their heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We've been wondering where that was.
I see you with a mic. I saw you on the
Okay, next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we have agenda additions.
We do have one.
I have one.
Yes, Commissioner Williams.
Yeah, I'd like to move to expand the agenda to reappoint Ms. Nigeria Camara to the Northwest Louisiana Human Resource District Board.
Second. Hang on, we're going to make a motion to move and add it. That way it's just added on the agenda, so it's just one motion. Is that correct?
Correct.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Williams to move and add this on the agenda, and seconded by Commissioner Lynn. There's no discussion. Does anybody wish to speak for or against this motion before we put it on the agenda? Seeing none, please vote.
We're voting to expand the agenda?
Expand and add it.
All in one. Inclusive.
Todd says we can do this without making the two motions. Okay.
We got a smart
Finished
clerk.
law school lately, did you?
Yes, sir. This morning.
All right, next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to citizen comments.
Any citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning needs to fill out a comment card, which is located in the chamber foyer, and return it to myself or the clerk. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes. I do have several cards at this time. Would ask the following people to come up first. I have Jonathan Keith. Is Jonathan present? How you doing, Mr. Keith? You'll come up and give us your name and address, and you can address the commission at that time, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Keith. I'm here representing Pathways in Education. We're located at 8999 Mansfield. I missed a 9 there for a second. We are a dropout recovery program. We've been around for 35 years, but this is our first school working in conjunction with Caddo Parish. We go out and we recruit students who have dropped out or are in the process of dropping out of traditional high schools. We customize high school for them. We've been recruiting all week this week. We're involved in the one-stop shop with Caddo, and we're receiving students sent over to us both by pastor coalitions and by traditional high school principals and counseling. As of today, I think we've been recruiting now for about 24 hours. We've got about 30 students signed up. What we do is we provide a completely customized education for students. We have a seat time requirement waiver from the state of Louisiana. And our students come in for appointments similar that they would with a doctor. Mostly it's independent study or distance learning done through both online education and one-on-one teaching. We've got a very high success rate across the nation, but we are brand new to Caddo. And so mostly I just wanted to come to say hello. I always feel like if you're working in someone's backyard, you ought to let them know. And to make sure that everybody understood where we were and what we're doing, and that we run an open door policy. We encourage people to come by and check us out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next person is Josie Harris. How you doing, Ms. Harris? If you can give us your name and address, and then you can address us too, please.
Yes, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, to Mr. Wilson, our administrator, and to the commissioners. I'm here today in reference to the MPC appointment, and I did send in my resume and asking for you all support. I feel like I am capable of handling the position. I've been down here several times on behalf of zoning issues, and I also is a member of the Property Standard Board, so I am familiar with property standards.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Anything else?
No? Any questions?
Well, thank you for coming and good luck, okay?
Thank you.
And Micah Petty. How you doing, Mr. Petty?
Well enough in yourself.
If you'll give us your name and address, and we'll let you proceed.
Micah Petty, P.O. Box 8026, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71148. I reside on Highway 79 south of Greenwood.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm a little nervous in front of this august organization. I've never spoken to such a formal event like this, so I apologize if my voice is a little shaky. I am a state-licensed wildlife rehabilitator and member of the Louisiana Wildlife Federation, who is concerned about the disposition of both indigenous and exotic animals in Caddo Parish. I would like first to offer my services without recompense in placing, fostering, rehabilitating, or adopting animals besides dogs and cats that come to the parish's attention. I am also concerned, based off of reports I have received from other residents, that there are insufficient guidelines or oversight in place regarding how non-standard animals are dealt with. I have my license and letters of recommendation if any commissioners would like them. It's hard to know what detail to go into or what information y'all would be interested in, but the information that I have gathered from talking to other people that are concerned about animal welfare in the area is that animals, besides the dogs and cats that are normally dealt with, that come to the parish's attention, are not necessarily handled in a fashion that is in the best interest of the animals. I understand that parish services are geared towards human safety, first of all, as well they should be, but the wildlife and exotic animals at times seem to be being disregarded, and I would like to help with that. My suggestions are along the lines of potentially having guidelines put in place for if animals come to CPAS's attention, that possibly they may need to offer them to a licensed rehabilitator or other animal rescue before euthanization. From what I hear, there seems to be guidelines needed about how indigenous animals are dealt with. I've heard reports that I have not been able to confirm with my own eyes, but from reliable individuals, that wild ducks have been euthanized, which, if that's true, is contrary to state and federal law, which the Louisiana Wildlife Foundation has expressed to me that they're pretty concerned about and are wanting me to look into so they can put a stop to that if that is indeed happening. But basically, it seems like there needs to be more guidelines and oversight in place on how animals are dealt with, and I am at the Commission's disposal to provide any further information or detail at their convenience to work on a solution if one is able to be found.
Okay. Appreciate you being here. We're going to, we can't really ask any questions at this time. And Mr. Harris, I'm going to ask him to come up in a few minutes to answer some of the questions that you're talking about. So thank you for being here. If you'll just hang on for a few minutes, maybe some of your questions will get answered under the communication report, okay? All right, let's see. Our next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next we move to visitors, Mr. Stephen Jackson, Metropolitan Planning Commission presentation regarding the Cedar Grove CDC. Not sure where that came from. Mr. Stephen Jackson.
Mr. Jackson present?
No, he's not here. He's not here.
All right.
Strike
Lenore, you know.
I hadn't talked to her.
Okay. Let's move on to the next item.
Next we have special resolution for Purple Heart Recipient Day in Caddo Parish.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Epperson, seconded by Commissioner Williams to adopt this. We're going to need to read it.
No, we'll forego with the reading. We had a formal
Gotcha.
reading and presentation and signing Monday. Just like to remind everyone that 6 o'clock p.m. today at the Juvenile Services Center,
1835 Spring Street. We will have a ceremony honoring our Purple Heart recipients. And
Do we know how many will be there? How many Purple Heart recipients will be there?
No, but we prepared for 100
Wow.
people to be present.
Oh, good. Okay, let's please vote.
I have a comment on it.
Oh, Commissioner Williams, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I can't find words to say how
Not a parish.
how great I am that Ken Everson put so much realistic time and effort into our veterans, into the project that he do. He has taken it on personal. He has a strong compassion and conviction for his country and his fellow man. And oftentimes we get slighted on some things we do up here, but Ken is typical of what our late President Kennedy says, not always what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country. And that seemed like what he's doing. He letting the veterans, letting the people that have served our country, protect us, let them know you haven't been forgotten. And oftentimes when they come home to nothing. Come home to a parade with a bunch of balloons and a flag. They come home to no job, no health care, sleeping under the bridge. So Ken, I want to just commend you. You know, I'm a veteran, and we got a couple of veterans serve up here that keeping the dream alive for our veterans. I want to commend you on the work that you're doing. Keep it up.
Okay. And I would, in the words of wisdom of Mike Thibodeau, I would say ditto to that. So, Mr. Epperson, you're doing a great job.
Yes.
Okay.
I just like to say now, it's not just Ken Epperson. It's
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
people
right.
involved.
That's
okay.
right.
We have all 4 governmental bodies.
That's right.
A lot of citizens. So it's not Ken Epperson.
That's
Don't
right.
take that for 1 iota. It's a joint effort. Thank you.
Okay, so please vote. And that passes, and we'll go to our next item.
Next, we'll go to communications and committee reports.
Okay, first off, I'd like to, I guess I can ask, Everett, can you come up real quick? Could you please
Yes, sir.
address some, I was just wondering about the exotic animals, what the guy has said.
I think,
We don't do anything with the exotic
no,
animals.
sir, what he's referring to is animals that fall outside of the normal jurisdiction, which you're talking about dogs and cats, your domestic animals. We deal with those by referring to wildlife and fisheries, any wolves, fox, alligators, federal protected animals, they go through wildlife and fisheries. We don't deal with them. If it becomes a public safety issue like a snake, a poison snake gets into somebody's house, then that snake will probably meet its demise. These individuals want us to bring these animals to them and give them to them. So that's what we're talking about here. We haven't euthanized any ducks. We've had problems with ducks that cross over on Kings Highway, but what we do is we try to get them out of the roadway with the cars and stuff like that, but we don't euthanize any ducks or anything like that. Only thing we handle is dogs and cats.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you answering those questions. If you don't mind, will you please visit with him, see if he has any more questions, okay? Is he still here?
And we've been, in the past, we've always worked with parks and recreations in terms of wildlife rehabilitators. That's where we go when we have animals like that. We turn them over to parks and
Is
recreation.
he still here?
His bag's there. I think he just walked out.
Okay, there he is. So, you missed the presentation by Mr. Harris, but I want to ask him if you'll get with him, maybe answer some of your questions in just a minute, okay? All right. No.
That's it.
All right, Commissioner Iskade, do you have anything for?
Yeah, Mr. Harris,
Mr. Harris, hang on.
since he's got you up here, have you ever had a conversation with this gentleman about these things?
Yes, sir. He has contacted us in terms of wanting to work with us as a rehabilitator. We talk to him as when he gets his license to contact us. We'll come out and take a look at his particular area to see what animals he's dealing with. He wrote a letter to the commission, to different entities asking us not to come out to look at his property, so that's where we are at this point.
Not to?
Not to, yes, sir. He has animals that he does not want us out there to look on his property.
And to your knowledge, is there any merit to the, I don't know, reliable sources that say we've euthanized ducks and stuff in the past?
Not to my knowledge, sir. I don't
I didn't think so.
have any
Thank you.
basis to prove that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Okay, we're still on communications committee reports. Does any other commissioners have anything? Commissioner Smith? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and let you, Commissioner Smith, go ahead. I saw you pushing first, it didn't come up. So go ahead, Mr. Smith, Commissioner Smith.
Ken Ward has set up a meeting for us on natural resource for the water on August the 21st. You'll get another memo on this, and it's at 2 p.m. that afternoon. Finally get some more definitive things done on water, which we need to do, and Mr. Ward's been working real hard on this, and we'll continue to do so. But we'll have that meeting on August the 21st at 2 p.m.
Commissioner Epperson?
Property standards meeting Monday, August 18th, 12 noon. All committee members, please, mark your calendar so we can have maximum attendance. I've asked a couple of the constables to be present, and I'm going to be requesting further information about things. There are a lot of citizens there that contacted myself, and I thank Commissioner Johnson relative to some property standards issues. So we're going to have some of them here, and they're going to be presenting their plights to us also. And also, I'd like to state that a beautiful hawk, baby hawk, was blown out of a tree some months back, and I called our animal services. They came out, they were gentle with it, and they took it to a place in Keithville that rehab those type animals. So they didn't take it and kill it or nothing like that. They took it to that place, and they were very professional and gentle with it. So that's the only thing I've seen with any animals outside of dogs or cats that they dealt with, but they didn't take it down and euthanize it. Thank you.
And Commissioner Johnson?
Mr. Everett, come back up.
No exercise today.
Yes, sir. Monday we talked about the West Nile and making sure we had brochures at the library.
Yes, sir.
Have we done that yet?
Yes, sir. We're in the process now of getting about 500 printed.
Okay.
And then if we need to, we'll do additional ones, but we'll be hitting all the schools, the libraries, the post office, everywhere where people frequent to try to get as much information out as possible, sir.
Okay. Also would like for us to try to make sure we contact and get with like the coaches, because we're going to have more kids outside now with football practice and other sports practicing, and then we also have some football games at night.
Yes, sir. We have a plan in place. Commissioner Dominique is well aware of it, that we spray during the school season when the practices start, golf course, more people are out. We hit those areas with the softball games and things of that nature, so we make sure that we cover those areas and cover the schools. We just can't do it during that time frame, but we do it in a way where we can cover the schools, golf courses, public areas where people frequent.
Okay. I just want to make sure that the people know that we are doing some. I saw you on Channel 3 last night, but I just want to make sure that other people who didn't watch 3 know that we are doing something. We're not just sitting back and letting the cases pile.
Yes, sir. We'll get a flyer to the schools making them aware of what's going on as well on the spray schedule.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I think we all saw it. That was a good interview, so you did a good job. Is that Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, sir.
You need him, or you need any? No. Okay.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't get a chance to tell those of you who showed up for the community blood drive that we had weekend before last. Thank you, and for those who could not come, thank you for your thoughts and support. And it was successful.
Sorry, I missed it. I
Well, you called me.
Yeah, I sent you a text.
You did. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay, our next item.
Was there any other administration response to questions from the commissioners?
Next item.
Okay. President's report.
I had some I wanted requested.
Okay. Commissioner.
I wanted the new levy board director to come before us today to talk about the situation in Cherokee Park at the Bayou.
Is he here today?
Yes, sir. We're going to invite him for the next work session.
Okay.
Do you specifically want him on a Thursday, sir? You want him on a Thursday or a work session? Doesn't matter.
Well, whatever day is comfortable for him.
We had plans to have him here the next work session.
I think.
Next item.
President's report.
Just wanted to say I did go. Commissioner Epperson was out of town, so I was able to attend Colonel DePeisler's 95th birthday party at Barksdale Air Force Base on behalf of the commission, and it had a great turnout. We had a great time. Ted Cox was there, was able to make a presentation along with myself and Bossier Parish Police Jury. So that's pretty much the extent of our President's report at this time.
Next, we move to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on July the 3rd.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Williams. Please vote. And that passes. Next item.
Adopt the minutes of special meeting held on August 4th.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Please vote. And that passes.
Next, we move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5407 of 2014, to accept the streets in Wynwood Estates Subdivision Unit 3.
Okay, I declare this public hearing open. Does anybody wish to speak in favor of this ordinance at this time? Does anybody wish to speak against this ordinance at this time? See nobody speaking, so I declare this public hearing closed. Next item.
Move to ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5407 of 2014, accept the streets in Wynwood Estates Subdivision Unit 3.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Please vote. And that passes 11-1. Next item.
Ordinance for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5408, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund for the year 2014 to provide an appropriation of $50,000 for the North Louisiana Economic Partnership. Ordinance number 5409, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator or designee to sell tax interest. 5410, authorize request to the Louisiana Secretary of State to merge precinct numbers 130 and 135. Ordinance number 5411, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator or designee to sell tax interest. Ordinance number 5412, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the riverboat and oil and gas funds for the year 2014 to provide an appropriation of $10,000 for the James Burton Foundation. Next, we move to work session minutes, ratify the work minutes.
Move.
Second. Got a motion by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Cox. Please vote. Okay, let's see. That passes 12-0. Next, we're moving to resolution. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you hang on 1 second? I've just been informed that there is a citizen who arrived late and wishes to speak 3 minutes. I'd ask that the suspend the rules and allow.
So moved.
Who is that anyway?
Ms. Irma Rogers.
Ms. Rogers? This would actually fall under the citizen's comment. Do we need her to get her filled out a card?
I'll get the information. She introduce herself.
They don't do that in the NPC. They don't spin the rule list.
Commissioner, this is not the NPC. Okay, can you give us your name and address, please?
Irma Rogers, 1920 Michoud Street, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71107.
How you doing, Ms. Rogers?
Good afternoon.
You have 3 minutes, so.
Okay, President Dominic, Vice President Johnson, Parliamentarian Lynn, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Frazier. I'm sorry, my tardiness is due to this. This is the second set of uniforms to be purchased by Martin Luther King Community Development Corporation. And we just finished with the first set, which is going to be these, some 35 children from Child Protection Services. These are not going to be the children who are in foster homes that get some kind of assistance. These are going to be the children who fall through the gaps. And these ladies, Ms. Richardson and Ms. Hamilton from Child Protection Services, have to take these children and try to place them with relatives while they're getting them into school or things of that nature. I expressed to them that we need to provide for those students who are in Title I schools and et cetera, but it is so confidential because of the court cases involved. I'm sure your attorney will understand that we cannot get all of the information. So I have to meet them at the vendor and actually pay for these while they are there. I wanted to report, because of the funding that you have given us from 2013 through the beginning of this year, And based upon our 2013 budget, some of the students who have been funded by this, we supported some 4 camps run through the Shreveport Police Department this past summer, including the Butterfly Camp, the Law and Youth Academy. We supported tutoring at 2 of our schools who had had problems, which included 116 kids. With those camps, and beginning from last year with the Fall Forum, we've reached more than 400 children. With this past Monday at our school giveaway, and we merged with several other organizations, Image Changers, Volunteers for Youth Justice. They were spearheading on this, but we decided not to do ours at the David Raines Community Center, to go ahead and have a very large vending place, which was at Southern University Gym. I'm thinking, guesstimating, some 1,500 to 2,000 persons came through those doors on Monday afternoon. Commissioner Johnson was there. Also, our superintendent of schools, Dr. Gorey, was there, and Dr. Belton from Southern. They can testify. What we have is a list of about 300 signatures, which would represent our part of packing school supplies for students who are in need. That's where we were taking names about the vouchers. We do request that they bring something like a food stamp budget sheet and other information that's required by community development. I want to simply thank you for your funding, and the rest of it is going to be in our reports.
Ms. Johnson, what do you
Ms.
with
Rogers.
Ms. Rogers, I'm sorry, MLK, what's the name of your?
Community Development Corporation.
Okay.
We're not the Neighborhood Association.
Okay.
Neighborhood Association is about 60 years old. We're only 11 years old.
Okay, thank you for coming. Have a good day. Thank you. Okay, next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next we'll move to resolutions. Resolution number 35 of 2014. Holding of an election in Caddo Parish Fire District number 4, State of Louisiana on Saturday, December the 6th, 2014. Authorize a continuation of a special tax therein.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Smith, second by Commissioner Epperson. Please vote. And that passes 12-0. Next item.
Resolution number 36, urging and requesting the United States Congress to oppose any reduction of military personnel at Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Move for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Williams.
Just briefly, if I might speak.
Sure, go ahead.
They're looking at 5,600 troops being cut. Progress forward in Leesville figures that will give a domino effect of about 11,000 people. That will be devastating to Vernon Parish, Leesville, Rapides, parts of Rapides Parish, Sabine Parish, and Alexandria, Louisiana. I have some information that I passed out earlier where we can write, and hopefully we can get them to maybe change their minds or do some swapping with some other bases. Last year we had the same problem, but we had a congressman from New York that Fort Drum was in this district, and he made some changes there, so that saved us from last year. So we're hoping maybe something of that nature will come into effect and be the same this time. Thank you.
Please vote.
My old stomping ground, kid. We don't let it shit.
Commissioner Cox, please vote. Okay, that passes 12-0. Next item.
Resolution number 37, 2014, support the preparation of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's Public Housing Authority 5-year plan and annual plan for fiscal year 2015.
Moved by Commissioner Williams,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Please vote.
And she gave us, Chair, I'm sorry. She gave an explanation about this yesterday, so.
Okay, that passes 9-1. Next item.
Resolution number 38 of 2014, urging the Police Jury Association of Louisiana to establish and support the creation of military and veterans committees.
Move for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Johnson. Please vote.
Point of information, if I might, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
These resolutions that's coming up subsequent, they are going to be presented at our Region 4 Police Jury Association meeting, which will be held August the 15th in Bossier Parish. So these are recommendations that we are going to submit to our Region 4 district, and then they in turn will vote it up or down and submit it to the full body. in our state association meeting in February 2015.
Please vote. And that passes 11-1. Next item.
Resolution 39, 2014, deeming the property surplus and authorize the sale of surplus property owned by Caddo Parish.
Come
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Lynch?
Yes, I have a question, Attorney Bernstein. What year are these books?
These books have not been updated probably in 10 years. These are all out of date, old sets of books that have not been updated.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I know Huntington has a law program, and I was just curious as to maybe if they would have some use for them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
You can ask. Yeah, we can check and see. We'll be glad to.
Okay, I'd really like to maybe postpone this. Somebody will make that motion, because I've talked, until we, inquire about it and see if maybe they can utilize them.
Not a problem at all. Be glad to check with Huntington and see if, make arrangements for them to perhaps take a look and see what we have that they might be able to use.
I'll move to postpone.
Well, I move to withdraw the motion.
Hang on one second. Hang on. Commissioner Lynn's on the board. You need to speak.
Move to make a secondary motion to postpone the vote on this.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Bowman. To postpone this, please vote. And that passes 12-0. Next item.
Resolution number 40, 2014, urging the Police Association of Louisiana to request the governor of the state of Louisiana to take all necessary steps for the state of Louisiana to participate in the Fully Affordable Care Act.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, seconded by Commissioner Williams.
Here and again, Mr.
Go ahead,
Chair, if I
Commissioner
might be
Epperson.
recognized.
Go ahead, please.
This is money that has already come out of our pockets. Other states are taking it, and I just think it's asinine that our government will refuse to take this money. And once again, we're going to be requesting that the governor and the state legislature would take that Medicaid expansion money under the Affordable Care Act. And that will be presented to our Police Year Region 4 meeting also.
Okay. Please vote. And that passes 10-2. Next item.
Resolution 41, 2014, urging the Police Association of Louisiana to adopt legislation to increase the minimum wage and to tie future increases to the cost of living standard.
Move for it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, seconded by Commissioner Johnson.
Okay. Once again, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead, Commissioner
I'm
Epperson.
sorry.
No, you're the maker of the motion.
Okay.
I'll allow you to speak
Right.
first. Go ahead, please.
Okay, first of all, I'd just like to bring up that this is something that we've been really focusing on our state and our national level for almost 2 years. However, I am pleased to say at our National Association of Counties National Conference, which was held in New Orleans, Louisiana, this past July, this was a very contentious debate. I was pulled out of several committee meetings to go to 3 other committees that was taking this up. It didn't only come about, workforce development and economic, Ms. Baker?
Yes.
The Finance Committee had it on. The Human Resources Committee had it on. When we came to our annual business meeting on Monday the 14th, they passed all of the resolutions with the exception of, immigration reform?
Right.
And minimum wage. They pulled those 2 for a debate. So after some enlightening and informative debate, one of the lead individuals that was against the resolution was from Denver, from Colorado, which has a minimum wage substantially increased. It's a minimum wage state. However, we showed a spirit of compromising. We got together, and he was a tough Republican. And our committees are pretty conservative. We were the darlings of that business meeting, and after some some rule clarifications and changes, it passed by 65% of the vote. Over 3,000 of our colleagues were there from all 50 states. So therefore, we're going at it again. If many of you know the reputation that Standard & Poor's has. Standard & Poor's came out yesterday with a report that stated income inequality is holding back the economy. And I think we have confidence in Standard & Poor's, right?
Yes, sir.
We got AAA bond rating. All right, got 2. Are they up there with Moody's?
Pretty much, sir.
Okay. And who rates the federal government on their bond rating? You know, the federal government
Standard & Poor's.
is downside.
Standard & Poor's.
Okay. These are the people. These are Wall Street people now. You know, it's not no labor, whatever it is. This economy has been teetering along and improving with what we have, but it can be even better. And I urge you to go online and read this report. Also, the Bureau of Labor Statistics stated that states that raise the minimum wage see faster job growth. It's not Ken Epperson. It's not the labor unions. And in our Sunday, July the 20th paper, the business section, average Shreveport wages among the lowest in Louisiana. Okay? We have got to start thinking about the people on the bottom. You go down Bert Coons and you look at all of those cars on the left and on the right, but guess what? Sooner or later, it's going to become a day that those things are going to be sitting up there. They're not going to be able to move. Because the people that are on the low end of the totem pole, they're the ones that are going to drive the economy. They just need some more money and they're going to put it right back in there. So I urge your support of this measure. It passed NACO. NACO represents all of the counties within all 50 states. They are members of it. And we're sending a message that Congress or these state legislators, you can no longer dodge this vote on behalf of our working poor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Baker?
Yes, Commissioner Epperson is correct. We have been deliberating on this resolution in our National Association of County Officials Economic Development and now Economic Development / Workforce Development Committee, and very much needed. And we saw where we had a consensus on that committee of showing that we were in favor of the minimum wage increase. I just want to ask Commissioner Epperson if he would to stay on the same level as he was with NACO, and it could be standard across the board. You remember in NACO we passed this resolution with the exception of removing to tie future increases to the cost of living standards. Right. And I just wanted to ask if you would be in agreement to send this resolution to the Police Jury Association the same way that the one was done at NACO back in the summer.
Point of information, Henry, did you pull that? Did we pull that when I asked you to author it? I didn't. I hadn't checked it since.
Correct. Yeah, the resolution.
Right. Contingent upon the cost of living.
Correct. The resolutions before you all does not have the cost of living increase.
Okay, it's not in there. I think the title on here is incorrect.
Yeah.
So that's the resolution without the cost of living.
The future increases to the cost of living standards. But I am in support of the minimum wage being raised. So, thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. And Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah, raising the minimum wage, it's just plain math. If I'm a business person and I'm paying somebody X number of dollars, and then I am forced to increase that wage, then I have two choices. I can employ fewer people, or I can pass on the additional increase in labor to my customers. One of those two or both has to happen. And for the folks that are going down Bert Coons who can't purchase a car, that's not going to change. You can increase their salaries or their hourly wage by 10 or 20 or 30%, whatever you want. But the only thing that happens, the cars go up 10, 20 or 30%. So it's all the same. It's just a mathematical formula.
And, you know, I don't think the government has any business telling private industry what to pay people. If people are not being paid enough, an individual has the choice to leave and look for a better paying job, to prepare themselves and do what's necessary to increase their skill set where they're more valuable to an employer. To just say that we're going to increase someone's pay just for the sake of increasing their pay is I think it's wrong. And then to even go tie it to inflation is even worse, because the inflation rate that is used today does not include the cost of gasoline, the cost of food, which are two of the largest increases that people see every year. But the government doesn't include that in their cost of living, because that would make the cost of living go crazy. So, you know, leave business alone. Business has proven over the years to be able to increase their production, to increase the pay, but individuals have to have some responsibility. They have to increase what they have to offer business, and then they'll be paid more money. But just to give it to them for the sake of giving it to them, I think is bad for our economy, and I hope that we don't go down that line. That's what socialism is about. We're a capitalistic country, like it or not. That's what we are, and I'd like to see us keep it that way.
Okay, Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a national discussion over the years. There's been 21 states has already adopted minimum wage increases. Of course, Louisiana is always behind in everything that we do. The only thing that's increasing is inequality, decreasing in our community. That's what's wrong. We got too much inequality. All we got is Robin Hood, taking from the poor and giving to the rich. And it's okay to subsidize corporate welfare, them corporate dollar loophole and taxes. That's okay. But the little man and the little folks at the bottom, we think we can balance the budget always time on poor people's back. That is wrong. It's a moral issue. And a lot of my colleagues that on the right believe in values and moral values, work hard and families. But when you come down and support the family, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. How can you say you for families? How can you say you for morals and values and stay in the home and raise your kids where you want to be subsidized by the federal government and be on WIC and those programs? You cut around when you pay people decent salaries so they can make it. This state ranked 49th in the nation of how they treat poor people. 49th. When we talk about we want to support and be inclusive and work together, folks can't make it on the kind of money they're making. Two-family household cannot make it in the 21st century. They can't do it. We got outdated public policy when it comes in regard to economic opportunity in the state. This state is ranked last in everything. They should be ranked first in some education. How can we attract world-class corporation, Fortune 500 companies, when we got people dropping out of school, teenage pregnancy, illiteracy? People are poor in this state. That's why we got so many non-profit organizations trying to subsidize and help poor people just stay afloat so they can eat, have food on the table, so they can pray just to make it today. You mean to tell me to give them a couple of little extra, but you wouldn't give somebody corporate welfare loophole and tax credit for them to survive? And you mean to tell you can't help little Ray and little Susie and little Johnny at the bottom? We can't help them? What kind of forgiving America we are? People don't work their back to the bone to help build your country. They don't work in your houses anymore. People want opportunity, what I see every day. They don't want to hand out, they just want to hand up and say, look, I want to make a difference. I don't want to be on welfare. I want to work hard, but the opportunities are decreasing. And what's increasing inequality in this country? We need to be a state of opportunities for everybody. It's not happening. People don't want to be on welfare. They don't want to be holding me and you up to rob and kill us. But we have an addiction for locking people up in this state. We got the highest per capita in America locking people up for minor offenses in this state. We'll lock people up for minor crime, but when he come out, he can't even get a job because he don't have some on his record. Minor offense. This policy in the state of Louisiana needs to change. And I hope that we get our heads out the sand and move forward in the 21st century and recognize that in order to make this state a great state, it's got to prove its public policy in regards to looking at people at the bottom. Stop taking from the poor, Mr. Robin Hood, and giving to the rich. And if we do that,
You got it backwards there, brother. You had it backwards.
well, help me get it straight. Y'all, you know what I mean.
You're on a roll, baby. Go ahead.
But, you know, you may laugh, but, you know, while you cutting people down today, you could be down tomorrow. You may be on welfare. You may need these food stamps. You may be subsidized. So never forget from where you come, because you may lose everything you got tomorrow. It can't happen to you. Nobody's immune to being at the top and falling down at the bottom and need these same programs that you couldn't. So to be careful how you smite and look down on people when they little and hurting. You could be hurting tomorrow. If you say you love God and you love people, how can you love God and his people and treat them like that? And go to church every Sunday and pray. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Cox?
Well, I won't go to the Robin Hood scenario, but I do understand what you're saying. You know, in Louisiana, and they've done some reports about this, where one-parent homes where they want to work and they've got a job, but it's a job that only get 25, 30 hours a week, or that you have a strong population in not only Louisiana, but a lot of those other states, is that they're below the income level. Or that you've got young people who are trying to improve themselves that are going to school, paying an outrageous amount to go to college because they don't have a football scholarship or athletic scholarship or a mom and dad who can put them through school, or they don't qualify for TOPS, but they want that apple off that tree. And I'm using some of your analogies, so watch out. They want to grab that apple.
Yeah.
But they can't, because how can they go to school full-time to get that law degree or that medical degree or a degree in management or something like that, and then go back and work a 25-hour job, and it's only paying, you know, $8.25 an hour, and it barely does cover their expenses to get there. And then when you look at most fast food restaurants these days, they're going to hire 50 people on their staff so they don't have to pay, or they have a overflow of people, and they're going to pay them $8.25 an hour or $9.25 an hour, barely enough to make it. Now, at one time, I would be honest with you, I was on the side of Mr. Thibodeau, because I said, well, you know, business will suffer. Well, after my daughter has been working at a fast food restaurant for 4.5 years now, and going to college, and if anybody knows me, I don't give a free ride. She has to make her own buck. Dad does not throw money away because Dad ain't got it. So when you're talking about helping people, and you're talking about what's to help, because they've got to be responsible for insurance now. If they're not covered under their family's insurance up to the age of 26, they ain't got none. Now if you ain't got none, you get penalized on your income tax. So everything washes down, and by the time you get down, if you're a young adult, and when I say that, when you're from high school graduation to you're 26, it's tough. And my daughter tells me that they got people working where she does, and they're working 2-3 jobs, and they still can't make it. So we're trying to watch after our elderly. We're trying to watch out for big business, but I'm going to tell you what, look what Exxon made last year. And it's supposed to be a bad year. Look what all these big corporations make. And making money is good. Yes. That's the American dream. If I had a business, I'd like to make a lot of money too. But it comes down to, sooner or later, people on the top got to realize you got to give a little bit to the bottom. Okay? And in doing so, we may have some people lose their jobs. That's economics. But realistically, we ought to learn from our past. You know, if we don't look up and change something, and we're in a rut where over the past 10 years, people can't make it. More bankruptcies, more foreclosures. People just can't make it. So If they can't make it because the big business won't allow them to, okay, we need to, as a government, say, okay, well, we're going to allow a wage increase over a period of time. And that will give the business time enough to move some stuff around. We're going to pay it no matter what. What were we paying for a gallon of milk 5 years ago? $1.59? What do you pay now? $4.29? Or gas 5 years ago? $2? Some states it's $6, and we're closer to the what am I trying to say, John?
The source.
The refineries. But yet we're still paying $3.50, and you know it just goes on and on. We can say this all day, but to say to a young person, you can work your butt off all day long, you're going to be where you are whether you like it or not. Well, we tell them to go grab that brass ring. We tell them to go out and work hard, and it will pay off, which it does. But what's to say they need to go to a job, 2 or 3 jobs, and still can't make an average living or support themselves or their kids. You know, we got a lot of kids having kids, and they're left behind.
Yeah, that's right.
So we have to understand every now and then somebody needs a little help, and we should be the ones to do it. And this is, and like I said, there for a long time I was against this, but when I listened to my daughter and my son, 26 years old, and they talked about what their generation is dealing with, and the ones who are asking for no help whatsoever, but yet week to week, month to month, they're seeing their friends and themselves wonder, is it really worth it? So I'm going to support this. It's something that's across the country, and sooner or later, big business will understand they can drive a Mercedes or a Lexus or live in a penthouse all day long. But the regular folks, the one who gets out and sweats every day, is the one who gives them the luxury to live like that, off the brow of what they do. So I'm going to shut up now. I think I've said enough, but I will support this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Commissioner Lynch.
Let me say primarily 2 things. One is the mentality of what I call the old mindset is one of the main reasons why I've supported term limits throughout my political career. Because there just comes a time when the old mindset is what has been killing Caddo Parish and what has been killing the city of Shreveport. And I'm glad you gave a personal story to Commissioner Cox, because there's a song that says experience is the best teacher. We've all probably at some point in our lives worked for minimum wage. I know I did. And, you know, in college, one semester worked 3 jobs just to be able to go back for the next semester. I don't want that for the next generation. And we should be working so that the next generation won't have to do what we did. Yeah. It will be actually better for them. If I work 2 jobs, I don't want my child to have to work 2 jobs. They should have opportunities to earn a decent living. Not in Dallas.
Right.
Where they're, you know, and they don't look at the cost of living. They're looking at what is that job paying. We could talk all day about cost of living. It's going to cost you more to stay there. They're looking at the $20 or the $25. We're sitting up here arguing about probably what's going to amount to another $2 or something. I mean, it shouldn't even be a discussion. We're not having businesses come into, you know, Caddo Parish. We're spending a lot of money, actually, trying to lure people here. I know we've recently given $500,000, committed to giving $500,000 to Brown Med $500,000 to LSU for their, whatever the name of that program is, digital media. $7.5 million to a private entity, Commissioner Thibodeau. Talk about capitalism and let the market and all of that, but we gave $7.5 million to an entity with no guarantee of bringing in not one job. So we can't have it both ways. We can't give money saying that we're doing this to create economic opportunities and then not, and want to starve people until those opportunities materialize. And by the time, maybe if they materialize, all the folks are already gone. You know, they've already relocated. I mean, how many of our kids are already gone? Because there are no opportunities here. And, you know, and we can brag about how well they're doing, and I've lived off of, you know, left Caddo Parish and Shreveport for better opportunities. But I don't think you should have to. And folks are making that choice because they have to, because the opportunities are not here. We should make it as hard as we can to keep, for our citizens to leave. And so, you know, when we tell people, if you don't like, you know, that the jobs in Caddo Parish aren't paying you enough, then you can just leave. That is the wrong message. We should not be saying that to our citizens. And so I'm hoping that, you know, we'll pass this resolution, which is basically just asking the police jury to adopt legislation to support state and national efforts to raise the federal minimum wage. We as a parish, you know, we don't pay anybody $7. I don't even know what the minimum wage is. So
$10.28 an hour, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
$10.28 an hour.
Yeah, but what's the minimum wage?
$7.25.
See, y'all make so much money, y'all don't even know. No.
That's why they don't leave.
But $7.25 an hour. Yeah, you can't even go to the movies for $7.25.
Not even matinee?
Well, I guess if you're a senior,
Oh.
we're almost there.
$6.75.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. It's just, you know, to advancing it, encouraging other folks who are not what we are. We're already the least amount that we pay anybody that works for Caddo Parish anyway is, what did you say?
$10.28 an hour, ma'am.
10.20?
10.28. 10.28.
Okay, 10.28 an hour. So we're not having anybody, you know, not picking up garbage or whatever happen with the city, because they haven't even had a raise, let alone talking about what they make, but haven't even had a raise in almost a decade. So let's just not stay in the old mindset. Let's be progressive. Let's grow this parish. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do too sit on that same committee that Commissioner Epperson and Commissioner Baker sit on for NACO on the economic development and workforce development. And it amazes me that the opposition to this always comes up with the same deal, and that's dealing with mom and pop businesses. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. And we have more big businesses than we do mom and pop stores. That's the first thing. The second thing is sometimes people work to their capacity. Everybody is not going to be an engineer. Everybody's not going to be a lawyer, a professor, anything like that. Some people just cannot, their mind just don't allow them to have those type of jobs. So you have to have something that they can be able to do without being receiving federal subsidy all the time. Just did a quick search on the internet, and looking at our parish, the median income is $37,181. The per capita income is $22,594. Now, working the minimum wage, if you can get 40 hours, you would only get $15,080. Most companies will only let you work 32 hours. So doing it, you would only get $12,064. way below the per capita and the median income. Once you start putting in food, rent, utilities, what do you have left? This is supposed to be the land of opportunity, but keeping it at 725 with the cost of living and the cost of utilities and necessities of life, how can it be? So I would ask that you would support this. This is only to go to the police bureau to say that, hey, Caddo Parish supports this. We ask that, you do it as a unit. You got 64 parishes, and we hope that the other 63 get on board with this as well. And then we can push this as a state. So I'm supporting it, and I hope that my colleagues will feel the same way that I do after hearing these numbers. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief. I agree with you, Commissioner Thibodeau, that people can't make you pay, if you own your own business, whatever someone should pay. However, I do agree and know firsthand that it's been, like you said, 5 years since we've had minimum wage increase, and a lot has increased since then, just basic standards. And I'll be supporting, number one, because NACO, our national organization in which we support from all different party affiliations and everything else, or have the majority of support for this. Second thing is, it's just time. Really, 725? You can't really do anything with that. My point is, whatever a standard was at one time, it's time that that standard changes in relation to, and this is not against Commissioner Thibodeau, this is just generally speaking, and just for anybody who's working. Prime example, we have the maintenance people and more so the trash workers that's going on, the issues we're having right now. Okay. Yes, they knew what the amount was when they applied for the job, but doggone, they haven't had an increase. They can't even get a $1 increase after all this time. I mean, and these are the people who are helping keeping us clean and our living conditions better. So if we want the people who are helping to make us better, we need to do better by everybody. There's no person better than any other person, and we should all try and at least move up, progress each time, more and more in life and just for each other and welfare. That's my stance. I'll be supporting it. Thank you.
Commissioner Thibodeau, I think you've already spoken. We'll get to Commissioner Escaday first and come back to you. Commissioner Escaday?
Well, this is an issue, it's a tough issue, and I appreciate NACO's position on the matter, but NACO is no different than the United States Congress and state legislature. They're a body of politicians, so I don't have a whole lot of confidence or trust in whatever their assessment would be. They're not businessmen by nature, entrepreneurs. But the minimum wage is standard has always been set by the federal government, and I do think that yes, there's a warranted increase in the minimum wage, but the federal government should handle that. That way every state has to deal with the same factor and we're not competitive. If this state, for example, raises its minimum wage to $9, we're sitting over there in Texas and eating our lunch on jobs and industry and development as it is, and they do nothing. How much more competitive do you think we're going to be? And then it's not just about money, what we pay people. We want to get around, let's not hurt anybody's feelings. The real problem we have around here is our pitiful education system. The terrible job we do with our children. The money we waste per head, per capita every year. That's where the disservice comes in. Most of these jobs you're talking about, that are pay this much, are entry-level jobs, and that's all they're intended to be. Like Mr. Johnson's figures, but that's not. How many of those are there? How many people actually in this city make minimum wage? You bring a good example up with the city. Yeah, I feel bad for those trash collectors. They can't. They should pay them a lot more, but they're not making minimum wage. So what's the issue? The issue is the city's got the same problem any other entity has. If it doesn't have the money to pay anymore, it can't. If we think we're smart enough to figure this out in this room or as a state, then whew, we're wrong. So there's got to be a multi-pronged approach to this thing. We have to get serious about education, not just here, but in this whole nation. We've got to stop our dropout rate. We've got to make sure that maybe we put some practices in there that prohibit businesses from abusing employees by saying, you know, you can't just limit them to 32 hours so you don't have to give them any benefits or anything. See, there's the wrong things there, you know. And then a couple other points I'd like to make. My esteemed colleague, I'm glad he mentioned the need for nonprofits here that we have, and we have over 2,400 in Caddo Parish. Over 2,400. I tell you, is that much charitable work need to be done? I don't know. A lot of them exist, it seems, because their executives make a nice big chunk and the administrative assistants make big salaries, and then their rank and file workers, those are the ones paid the coolie wages. But it's under the guise of, you know, maybe, you know, work programs or trying to learn or all this kind of stuff. But why don't you do a little research and see what the board, the big executives and the head of Goodwill makes. Salvation Army. Those are just national. Check that out and see if those figures don't just shock you. And then you trickle it down to the rank and file and you see what they're paid. Really, nonprofit does not mean charitable, ladies and gentlemen. It means nonprofit. At the same time, we have these 24 entities. They're still using our fire protection and our streets and our police and all the rest of the things that the rest of us who work for profits are paying for. So where's really the equity in that? And really, how good is that? And the last thing I'd like to remind this body, corporate welfare was mentioned. It's the same body that I urge not to give Walmart $800,000 to subsidize the modern day retail plantation. If that is not corporate welfare, I don't know what is. And this body's guilty of doing it just 6 months ago. Talk about a place that's going to come in and hire our citizens and underpay them and put them at 32 hours and no benefits and abuse them. We're paying them to do that. God, what a great country and a great parish. So you know what? My point, I guess, in all this is a very difficult issue, and it's a hard issue. And I don't know if there's any right or wrong. But I think it's going to take a collective effort. It's going to take some leadership really out of Washington, D.C. to set the standard for two things: livable wages, reasonable benefits, and education. On the other hand, I'll remind, you know, one more point that, you know, yeah, we've given work to LSU, Dr. Morales' program, Biomed. We've also given money to Southern for their nursing program. I don't know if that doesn't get people off their jobs and create jobs, live-in payable jobs, their aircraft maintenance program. And I'm glad the term limits was brought up. And I think term limits, just to let everybody know, the spirit of term limits was so that we could serve our 12 years and go home, not jump to some other office. Thank you.
Or come back. Or come back.
Well, y'all something today.
How are you? Commissioner, keep moving. Commissioner Williams?
What are you doing over
Spoke Thibodeau?
No, he's already spoke one time. Have you?
Yeah, I preach.
Okay.
Everybody up there.
Cox.
I've already preached, but I'm back up.
All right, Commissioner Thibodeau.
All right, minimum wage, I think, when it was never meant to be a career wage, it was meant to be a starter wage for people to go out and work, and then to better their situations so they could make more money. And you don't have to be a lawyer or a doctor or any of that. You don't need to do that. But and I have no problem with a person working 32 or 40 hours a week while they're going to school. I don't know about most of you, but I did. You know, I think most of us worked those kind of hours and for not much money when we were in school. And I think that's a character builder to do that. But if everything that I've heard about raising minimum wage is so great, if everything is going to, all this wonderful stuff is going to happen, then let's raise it to $50 an hour. Okay, raise it to $100 an hour.
I second that motion.
Okay, let's do that. But when you do that, that car over on Burt Coons will cost you $150,000. The house you live in is going to cost you $600,000. So you hadn't done anything. You're making more money, but you're spending more money. So nobody's any better off than they were before. And that's the big lie that we're telling people. That's what really bugs me, is you tell people we're going to give you another 50 cents or another $1 and everything's going to be hunky-dory. It's not going to be hunky-dory. because either fewer people will be working or the cost of goods and services will be higher. I mean, folks, this is just basic fourth grade math. That's all it is. It's not anything. When one of our commissioners used to have a rental business, when he had to pay people more money, he didn't keep them. He laid them off. When business was not as good, he had to lay them off. I mean, but that's what you have to do to make a profit. Because if you don't make a profit, you don't stay open. People talk about companies like Exxon making billions of dollars. They do make billions of dollars. But if you look at the percentage of return on investment, it's no higher than what a lot of companies make. It's just more money because they invest more money. So, I mean, this is basic math. I used to teach, middle school kids this. And I hate lying to people. That's the thing that really gets me, is lying to people.
Oh, really?
Lying. And one last thing. I'm going to get a recorder so that when Commissioner Williams and I are having private conversations and he's espousing all of his conservative views to me, I want to be able to record that and then come out here and play it for you. Because I think that we have two Michael Williams on the commission.
You do.
He says to me in private is totally different than what he says to me out here on the commission.
They don't need to hear that because they don't hear what I say to you in private.
Let's go, come on. Hey, guys, let's get back in order. Come on.
Pillow talk.
Okay. Hey, guys, let's listen up.
That's all.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out whether you're Robin Hood, Pinocchio.
Okay.
This is good debate.
Sheriff of Nottingham. He called you Robin Hood a while ago.
Honest.
Robin Hood was the good guy.
I'm just trying
Nottingham
to
was
be
the bad.
honest and
facts.
trying to remind people, the country that they live in. We don't live in Europe.
Commissioner Lynn,
Call for the question.
got a motion to call for the question. We have a second by Commissioner Epperson. So we're voting for call for the question.
I ain't voting for. I want to talk some more.
Oh, which Michael?
We'll let you talk after the meeting. Let's go.
Tug, you going to get up there in the other seat?
Oh, thank you, Linda. Hey, y'all, all my brothers, y'all sisters, y'all vote no. I'm James Brown today.
Oh, no.
Okay, voting for call for the question.
Hold the people line.
Do what?
You can begin your vote.
No,
we can't.
Okay.
Got a request on there.
Do you know?
Okay, now we're voting for call for the question.
Throw the people a lifeline. They heard you.
Okay.
You might show the vote. Surprise.
They failed.
You had her. We need to make her clerk.
Y'all are gonna have to cross-train.
Yeah, what happened to all that cross-training you were going to do, Todd? Okay, call for the question.
Yeah, that's okay.
Call for the question passes 10-0. Now we're voting for the motion. If you're for the motion, vote yes.
For the poor people, vote yes, and not vote no.
And that passes 9-3. Okay, we move to the next item.
Resolution number 42 of 2014, urging the Police Trade Association of Louisiana to request Louisiana's congressional delegation to oppose a Trans-Pacific Partnership Free Trade Agreement.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Epperson, do you want to talk?
Here once again, my fellow colleagues, this is an item that was passed by the association last year. We'll be bringing this up again in our Region 4 meeting on August the 15th. Hopefully sometime we bring these things up. I would hope that you would do some individual research where you would learn, exactly what's going on. The Trans-Pacific Partnership is a new trade agreement similar to NAFTA and CAFTA. That's going to be going on between 13 Asian Pacific Rim countries. There is a cross-section of opposition to it in Congress, both Republican and Democrats. That's why it has not come up for vote. This has been pushed by President Obama. You know that's my buddy and I love him, but I'm against him on this. Some of the nations that will be competing with us with hours of 13 cent, wages of 13 cents an hour.
Wow.
is Vietnam. And my colleagues and myself, we don't feel too good about sending jobs over to Vietnam. If any of you had any knowledge of what happened with NAFTA, Ross Perot said that swooshing sound going south, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. 60,000 manufacturing jobs were lost. And millions of other manufacturing companies, 60,000 manufacturers companies were lost, and millions of good paying jobs from America were sent overseas. And we feel that that same thing will happen at this point in time. Bear in mind that Vietnam is still a communist nation, and I just don't feel right, and my colleagues, as well as a cross-section of members, bipartisan in Congress, to go through with this item because it will not be good for our economic future. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, and one more thing, inversion. Y'all heard of inversion? You know what companies are doing now? Walgreens tried it, but they caught hell. The people found out what they were doing.
Right.
They changing their citizenship over into a foreign country where they can evade taxes.
Tax evasion.
Walgreens.
Yeah.
We're estimating that $20 billion, if the companies that are contemplating going there, will be a $20 billion void of tax dollars. Now, if that isn't economic treason, I don't know what is. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Escaday?
Believe it or not, I agree with Commissioner Epperson on this.
God has touched you.
God hasn't touched me. I'm an isolationist by nature. So I'd like to put a border up around, a fence around this country and not just keep people out, keep all the products out. And within a year, after suffering, maybe not having that new TV or that new toaster and all, we'd start making our own stuff again. Having our own assets, educating and working our own people. We've got all the natural resources in the world. This global economy is just to make the uber rich even richer. We don't need it. But anyway, that's a soapbox thing. But NAFTA didn't work out too well, and this is not going to work out too well. I'm still not over Vietnam. So let's pose this as, we don't need any more other nations getting favorite status or favored status over the people that are born and raised and live and work here. Thank you.
You don't shut it down.
Commissioner Williams?
Call for the question.
Really? Second. I got a motion by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Johnson. Call for the
It came
question.
from you, everybody.
What's going on? Please vote.
He's trying to get back at everybody.
Ain't nobody else to speak but you.
Somebody else would have came. That's the other Michael Williams. I'm making a point.
He wanted to make one more motion. Okay, that passes 12-0, and now we will vote on the motion.
See, we do get along up here. This is not Washington.
Ain't city council either.
And school board.
Oh, we can vote.
Mr. Bowman? That passes 12-0, and let's see, is that all until we go into old business?
We have no old business, we move to new business.
I'd like to just go a little bit out of order, suspend our rules again one more time. I know that I just heard Mr. Burton's here. I knew he was here, but they came special today thinking we're going to talk, so I would ask that the rules be suspended to allow Mr. Burton to
I'd like to speak on it first.
Well, let's get them out of here. Commissioner Cox?
Yeah, I want to speak on this before we bring them up. You will each find that and I appreciate this little
hang on.
I appreciate this little time for them. They are knee-deep in putting this festival together, International Guitar Festival, to be exact. Their time is valuable, and what I wanted to do is bring them down here, even though we moved it on our work session. I wanted them to come down and basically explain to them, give us an update from last time to this time. And it was to a point where in January they decided to have this again. And if you'll look at the stars who have come out for this man and who are doing this for not only the kids and the people in our area, this man is worldwide. And he is a favorite son of Shreveport and Caddo Parish.
And I just needed him and his organization to come out this afternoon because, like I said, their time is valuable, and by the time we get to the vote, they're going to be too busy. So with your permission, Mr. President, you can bring up our guest.
Okay, I'm basically allowing them to speak as a citizen comment, just like we did with Mr. Johnson's person that came in. So, Mr. Burton, can you come up, sir?
I have a point of order, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he bring a guitar?
I want to make sure, I guess, what they're about to talk about, because this has been introduced as an ordinance. There's going to be a public hearing on it.
Yes.
So,
can they legally speak about it? Is that what you're asking?
well, I'm just,
Speak about anything they want.
he can, I mean, as a citizen comment, he can talk about the weather,
Right.
but I think
You got anything on this?
we need to tread lightly on,
Mr. Bernstein, can he speak? He's here. They came here today. I know that they can speak under citizens' comment. They could have spoke earlier concerning the ordinance. Is that correct? Can we allow them to speak about this ordinance? It's just an introduction at this time. Normally, we'd have the public hearing, and they would speak at that time, but they're not going to be here apparently at the public hearing.
Right.
So is it legal for us to allow them to speak at this time?
Legally, you're required to allow citizen comments on anything on the agenda.
That's right.
You cannot restrict a citizen comment to something that's on final passage. The law allows a citizen comment period, and it has to be prior to anything on the agenda.
right.
So, yes.
Okay. Mr. Burton, if you give us your name and address, and you have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. My name is James Burton. I'm at Shreveport. I'm in 714 Elvis Presley Avenue Boulevard. Avenue, excuse me. Anyway, I just got back in town from Sweden, and I'm leaving to go to do the Mike Huckabee show this weekend. And I just want to say thank you and the community for all your support. And we love working with the children, and we were able to get music back in schools with giving guitars out to kids in schools. And we just continue working with the kids and doing all we can do to support the kids. And I'm traveling all over the world. And Arlena Acree and Jenny Landry, they have all the information that they can pass on to you. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. Appreciate you coming today.
Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Play a song the next time.
Don't do that.
Bring the guitar the next time you come.
Yes, my name's Arlena Acree, and I want to say hello to everyone. My address is 902 Robinson Place, and I'm going to be very brief. I just want to say thank you, James, for being in Shreveport, because this man could live anywhere in the world he wants to live, but he chooses his hometown to do things. And John, you could appreciate this. Their foundation, they don't get 1 penny salary for this, what they do. The money goes back to the children and to the veterans. There's some programs for the veterans that they do. They allow them to go in to the sound stages and record for free. So that's part of their deal. So I just wanted to make that comment. And Jamie's got all the information on the festival. But thank y'all for your support in advance. We appreciate it.
Janie Landry, 401 Edward Suite 205, Shreveport 71101. I am the volunteer chairperson and one of the founders of the foundation and the organization. My professional capacity, I'm Deputy Director of the Downtown Development Authority. I'm also a college instructor, have done so for 15 years, working on a second master's in clinical counseling. So I'm very familiar with what you're talking about, education and research. One of the reasons we started this foundation in 2005 was because we were seeing discipline problems in Caddo Parish and Bossier Parish. And we were approached and wanted to form a partnership in how we could help children become better in their endeavors in school. What we found is that there is a direct correlation between music and grades and discipline. And we have a number of testimonials from instructors and from principals throughout the parishes that we've worked with saying these children have improved their grade point averages and their discipline problems have also improved. We are a 501c3, a nonprofit. We don't have a paid staff. We're all volunteers. We spend a great deal of time trying to put guitars into the hands of children, as James mentioned, and also to work with schools in Caddo Parish and across the country, trying to put music and back into their schools. We know it's a very important discipline. Just real quick, we have, with our funds, the festival is our primary fundraiser, and we only have one paid event for this event. The rest of it is a community gift. We are Friday and Saturday nights in the Red River District, a talent show for children, a car show, and a Sunday night gospel concert with Lincoln Brewster. Those are all free. Our money for this event is coming from the Saturday night concert with James and Friends. And so we work very hard trying to raise sponsorships. This is a huge festival. As Arlena mentioned, children that we work with are able to come in and record free in 2 studios and learn about the recording industry and have the chance to interact with James Burton as well. We have another endeavor that we're about to announce, a capital campaign that will be in economic development, and we believe a catalyst for continued development in downtown Shreveport. And so that's what we're about, children and education, and showcasing Shreveport. As Arlene mentioned, James could live anywhere, but he chooses to live here, and showcasing downtown Shreveport and bringing additional jobs into our community. We appreciate your time and your consideration of our requests. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming. This is public comment, so that's what the system they went under, so there's really no any questions I have to ask them at this time. So we need to move to our next item.
Next, we move to new business. Confirm the appointment of Mr. Marty Woolridge to the Ward 2 Industrial Board to replace Mr. Ronnie Allen.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by the chair, second by Commissioner Smith. Please vote.
Somebody vote for John.
He vote for himself.
This ain't the state legislature.
Passes 12-0.
Confirm the following reappointments to the Black Bayou Watershed Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by the chair, second by Vice President Johnson. Please vote. I almost said Commissioner Williams. Second. All right.
Had a good meeting today.
Next,
Commissioner Escaday, please vote. And that passes 12-0.
Next, we confirm the appointment of Ms. Najeri Camara to
So
Moved by Commissioner Williams. Seconded by Commissioner Bowman. I'm going to give Mr. Bowman this second. Put him on the board.
Baby bird.
Please vote.
That was Commissioner Lynch, by the way.
Commissioner Bowman, please vote. Okay, that passes 12-0. All right, there's nothing further. We adjourn. Dr. Wilson, I need to give you something.
Hey, Mike, I'm coming to work for you. How much you pay?